Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Omar here from Staple Smart Solutions, and today's review is of the Powerbeats Pro. So I picked these up, had them for about a month now. Just want to kind of get this together, have a long-term review of the product. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Alright, here, Powerbeats Pro, out of the case, out of the box. Here we go. That's how they look. Let's get a little closer. There we go. Let's go ahead and take these out for you. This is how they look. So they look just like something else that everyone should be familiar with. Hold on. Let's get these back in there. There we go. Got them back in there. These should look awfully familiar. They should look just like these. The Powerbeats 3. You know what they don't look like? AirPods. You know what they don't sound like? AirPods. So this review is not a comparison between these and the AirPods. I've already come out with a video of my little rant on that, how people obviously don't understand how evolution of a product works, that obviously for some reason, because these have a wire and these don't, that they can't be the same thing, even though they're named the same thing, they're from the same company, they sound similar. I don't know. Just seems like lazy journalism to me. I digress. Let's keep it moving. Alright, let's start with the pros on this. First thing, dominant hearing. Now what that means, you can have them in just the left ear, just the right ear, both. It doesn't matter. You can have the same controls. You can listen to phone conversations. In the past, I've had the Bose SoundSport Free Wireless. And with those, you can only do phone conversations with the right ear. That sucks. So I didn't like that. Now with these, you can have it on both sides. So that's really cool. So I do enjoy that. Let's move on to sound. If anyone has ever had any pair of Beats, you know how these sound. These are made for bass heavy content. I mean, they still work across the whole spectrum pretty well, but that's what these cater to. So with the sound, they sound great. So I do enjoy these. I enjoy these a whole lot. And compared to the Powerbeats 3, they sound pretty much the same. Alright, let's get to another pro of this, and that's the quick charge feature. Now these charge via lightning cable, so I'm pretty sure a bunch of you already got a bunch of these laying around. But with only 5 minutes, you get an hour and a half of playback time. With 15 minutes, you get 4.5 hours of playback time. And with 90 minutes, you get a full charge. So it's really cool. So if you're going to be using these for the gym, because these are really more so catered to an active lifestyle, you can charge these while you're in the car, and by the time you get to the gym, no matter what you're doing, you got to charge long enough for these. That is an awesome feature, quick charge. Alright, let's get to the big thing, the biggest pro for me of this, and that is the H1 chip. Now with the H1 chip, you get a bunch of things like the pairing. The pairing is super simple. Anyone who has an iPhone or an iPad with an H1 or W1 chip product, once you get them, just open the case and it will automatically show up on the screen of your device. You hit connect and that's it. There's no power button for these. All you have to do is just open the case, put these on, and they automatically pair. And now speaking of pairing, easy switching. These can easily and seamlessly switch between all of your products. Now I live in the Apple ecosystem, so it's super simple for me. Once you pair this to any device that you have that's logged in with your iCloud account, so say your iPhone, but then you have an iPad or MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, Mac Mini, whatever it may be, Apple TV, this is automatically paired to all of those devices as well because you're under the same iCloud account. So it's really awesome. So you can just put these on and I seamlessly switch from listening to my phone, and then when my wife goes to bed and she doesn't want to hear the television, I can just pair these automatically to the Apple TV as well. That is a great feature and I love that about these. And lastly, the biggest pro, the main reason why I love these, it's just overall the best thing. The H1 chip has always on Siri. And with that, what you get is complete hands-free Siri, which is awesome, which you have on your phone. You have the always listening. You can have that with the second generation Apple AirPods. But what's great about it on this product is these are designed for an active lifestyle. So imagine, if you will, while you're running or you're doing bag work, you never have to stop, take gloves off, or slow down your run to fiddle around with the controls. You can just tell Siri what you want it to do. I love it. I first tried it out when I did some bag work, and it was great. I told it to change songs, play a different playlist. The H1 chip is amazing. If you've never experienced it, get a pair of these or get a pair of AirPods 2nd generation. You will love the H1 chip. Okay, now let's get to the cons. The things that I do not like about this. One, I feel like Apple was being Apple, where you introduce this product with 4 colors. It comes in the black color that you see here. It also comes in an ivory white, a navy blue, and a moss green. That's great, you have variety, but what Apple did, like they do a lot of times, especially with their product red iPhones, is it doesn't come out on launch. You only get the black ones at launch, and then later this summer you'll get the moss green, the ivory white, or the navy blue. Another con for me would be the fit in the ear hooks. Now, I have small ears, and with the Powerbeats 3, I currently have a pair of Powerbeats 3, and I had the Powerbeats 2, and those I'm able to kind of put the ear hook in and loop it with no problem. Now, with these, the good thing is these are actually 22% smaller than the Powerbeats 3, so once they're hooked onto your ear, they are on. I have small ears, and they fit no problem for me, so they won't come out. I've shaken my head violently, everything short of giving myself whiplash or concussion, because I'm not an idiot. So yeah, these fit great. But then here's the flip side of that. What happens is they're more difficult to get on now because they're smaller, and I have small ears, so I can imagine a person with big ears, this could really be an issue. But for me with small ears, I still have an issue getting these on. So I think that's something that it's like a good thing and a bad thing. You know, when they're on, they're never coming off, but then they're harder to get on. And speaking of that, transition over to what I believe another issue I've had, and that's with pairing. So what has happened, because they're so difficult to get on for me, when I put one on, they automatically pair. But it takes me a second to get that one on. So by the time that it pairs and it's on, because as soon as it comes on, it pairs, the other one's still in the case. And I'm putting that one on, so then only the side that I put on first is paired. Now that's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times, but it is an annoyance. So just keep that in mind. Alright, let's talk about the other things, the intangibles. Let's start with battery life. These get 9 hours per charge and an additional 15 hours in the case. So that's a total of 24 hours that you get with these. Okay, let's talk about touch controls. Now, Beats did something good here where they actually put all the same controls on both ears. So with each one, let's see if I can get this close enough for you. So you see the B here. You have the B there, and then you have these little rockers right here that you really can't see that well. But the smart thing that they did with that is they actually put that on both earbuds. Whether you have the left one in or the right one in, you have all the same controls. So you have single press for play, pause, or answer your call, or hang up your call. Double press to fast forward to the next track. Triple press to rewind back. You also have the volume rockers as well. So that was really smart of them to do that, and I really appreciate they put the same functionality on both earbuds. Okay, now on to my last other intangible feature, and that would be autoplay pause for the Powerbeats Pro. Now, if anyone has ever had a pair of AirPods, you're already familiar with this. Sony has them. A couple other manufacturers has this feature in their completely wireless earbuds, whereas it has a sensor, so as soon as you take it out, it automatically pauses. You put it back in, it automatically starts playing. That's nothing new. AirPods has had it since 2016, so we're kind of familiar with that at this point. Here's what's different and other intangible, mainly for me, a con. The fact that these things have the ear hooks, the problem comes when it's time to put them back on. Because as I mentioned earlier, when you try to put them on, they're a little bit more difficult to put on because they're smaller and they have the ear hooks. So you have to compensate for the ear hooks, with the smaller form factor. So that is kind of a pro and a con. Pro being you got the autoplay pause, the con being that they're on this design, it doesn't really work well. So for anyone that wanted these for like casual, just walking around town, you're commuting to and from work, I would probably recommend AirPods or another solution from Sony or someone like that over these, because these aren't really that easy to put back on, at least in my experience. On to my verdict. Would I recommend you buying these or not? I would say if you do not have a pair of headphones, earbuds, whatever it may be for the gym, total buy. You know, these are totally worth it, especially for that H1 chip. Little disclaimer, let me put this out there. This product is best served for iOS users. You can pair these with Android phones, but the best features of it, of course, are going to be better for iOS users, just to keep that in mind. So even with that being said, I still recommend these as your second headphones or your gym headphones. I personally would never use these as my primary everyday, like commuting to and from work, walking around the office, different things like that. I prefer something like the Apple AirPods because they're much easier to take out to have a conversation and put back in. Solely for that reason. Now, everyone may not have the money for both. So I think if you could only have one set of wireless earbuds, and you had to choose, and you're in the iOS ecosystem, choose the Powerbeats Pro if you can only get one pair. Because these will give you everything the AirPods give you, plus it'll give you better noise isolation, not cancellation, but isolation, with the fact that you have the silicone tip that you can change out to fit you better. They'll fit in your ear more securely, so they're made for the sweat and all that, because they're rated for you to work out in, to get wet in, to sweat in. Where the AirPods, yes, you see millions of people working out in them, but they're not really designed for that. And they're not as secure in your ear. So for me, like I said before, this is a total buy. I would totally recommend these to anyone. So if you get a chance to try these out, please do. If you could only get one pair, I would say these defaultly, because you can actually do a little bit more with these. But if you're looking to just walk around the office, have them in the office, and you're not really looking for a workout device, and you live in the Apple ecosystem like I do, get yourself a pair of Apple AirPods second generation. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys' time today. If you get a chance, please like, share, and subscribe. Also follow me on Stable Smart Solutions on Instagram. And until the next time, you all have a great day and go out and buy some tech.